I was inspired today to make this video, and I have a very special guest on the line with me. I would like to introduce Lightningbreak. How you doing?
Hi, thank you, Allstin, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be able to talk. I appreciate you letting me be on this interview. My name is Lightningbreak. I do a lot of challenges for Doom Eternal, like Horde mode with no super weapons. That's the most recent one I posted.
Ultra Nightmare too.
Run in the future that I am waiting to post, but that will be for another date.
Yep, so we're just going to take a few minutes to talk about each of the challenges, a little bit of information why you should watch him, and see if he's worth the sub. I think he is. He's at about, I think, 29 or 30 right now, so we'll see what we got here. First challenge we'll talk about today is Horde Mode Ultra Nightmare No Super Weapon Challenge. And you pick some mods that not a lot of people would pick for your weapons. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so for my first, I guess you'd say unusual pick would be the micro missiles over the precision bolt. I really like that combination with the stickies because you can have the stickies for easy weak point removal, and then you need a lot of DPS. So you sticky micros, and they just go down quickly.
Now, something else you did, which I'm going to have to start doing that more, you actually went with microwave and remote detonation right at the start, didn't you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about what led to that decision?
Yeah, I absolutely love the microwave game. It's underrated in my personal opinion. There's nothing like stopping a Revenant that's charging right in front of you trying to slap you in his tracks. It's like having the heat blast on demand for whatever enemy that you want. And it gets rid of shields from double the range that you usually ever fire at them at.
It's going to be required. It'll be required too in the DLC for the Spirit. And I like what you said about that. A YouTuber Under the Mayo, I'm actually a mod in his Twitch and Discord. He's a big proponent of that, and I think it's one of those hidden gems. Don't you think so?
I do. I definitely do.
And same with remote detonation. Not a lot of people, like to use that in Eternal. So what led you to that one? Remote det.
Oh, remote detonation.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a group of like say 20 enemies all empowered running at you trying to kill you, you need CC. Being able to stun any enemy in place, especially groups of enemies all at once, is, in my personal opinion, only in Horde mode better than the lock-on burst. Because for lock-on burst, you have to kind of more or less stay still and aim at a certain enemy.
Yeah.
You can't just jump around all over the place. Otherwise, the lock-on will fall. It might target a minion, a fodder enemy.
You're really locked in.
Yeah, in that specific moment, I think the remote detonation is better because it just gives you AoE crowd control, and you don't have to waste time trying to lock on.
Yeah, I like your use of the Arbalest too. I like the different approaches. And before we go to the next one, I'm curious. You have future plans for Horde mode, don't you? Extra challenges?
Yeah, I was definitely considering some extra challenges, like say not doing meta mods, so no Arbalest, no chain gun shield, no heat blast. Although I already did that in my previous one, so I'm thinking of not using any of those. And I'm also considering doing a ×2 damage run for Horde mode Ultra Nightmare.
If anyone's seen the channel, I've ran the 3x on the campaign on Extra Lives mode. He's on 2x on Horde, and it's the world's first no super weapons clear. That's never been done. That's exciting to see. So all this will be in the description, by the way. Let's see if we can check out the next one. Let me pull it up on my screen here. We'll go to your next challenge run. Let's talk about, get ready for this, beating Cultist base master level, never losing all your armor, and not using a chainsaw. Why? What? Where did this come from? Tell me. I've got to know. I've got to know.
That inspiration came from, I mean, we've all heard about all the ammo complaints. So
yes.
I wanted to see if it was possible to not use the chainsaw.
Man.
Do you ever get enough ammo in optimal scenarios? So I chose this master level because it has a bunch of chain gun ammo constantly respawning, and there's little grenades exploding, so you can get ammo back from that. Otherwise, the challenge would be more or less impossible. But there's a lot of ammo that respawns in the arena, so I wanted to see if that was possible.
So
I think it would be too easy if I just did no chainsaw, so I also wanted to tack on never losing all my armor.
Man, so that's a Senza level challenge there. And the thing is, when you are very efficient with your ammo, you kill quicker, you use up less ammo, and it's better all around. And to pull it off on the master level is impressive. And not losing all your armor to boot. What's the hardest part of that level to do that on, if someone were to do this challenge?
The hardest part of the level, in my opinion, the single most dangerous part of the level, is the second outside fight. Right before the final fight, It's the one with the Baron and the 2 Pain Elementals.
Oh yeah, this one I'm about to show on screen here in just a second, probably. Yeah, this one. Oh, that is nasty. That's real nasty.
Let me give you a tip for everyone that does that master level. Whatever you do not kill the Cyber Mancubus first. If you kill the Cyber Mancubus, yes, it will trigger the 2 Pain Elements.
Trigger enemies. Good video.
You want to kill the Whiplashes first.
Whiplashes first. Interesting. See, that's really cool. I actually did some no chainsaw experiment. I did just on Nightmare the icon fight without using the Crucible or chainsaw. That was really weird. So I feel the pain. You have to use that. It lived off of the full auto salvo. That was the only saving grace of it all. But pretty cool challenge. I like that one. There's still more too that I want to talk about. Okay,
Cool.
This is one I've done, but you did it way better. Urdak Second Buff Totem. Leaving it alive. The buff totem is a trigger enemy for the door, so you can leave it alive, and you did it under another special condition. Why don't you tell us about what that was?
Oh man,
two conditions.
That one has the backstory. So initially, way before I even came up with that challenge, I just wanted to see if I could beat that arena with all of my equipment except the ice grenade, the lock-on burst, and the chain gun shield, just without taking health damage. Eventually, as I got better and better, I pushed it, and then it was to not taking below 50. I made a video on that one as a challenge for anyone that wants to see it as preparation for Ultra Nightmare. And then eventually, I thought, what if I did it while staying in that little circular arena?
Okay, so just to kind of recap, you stayed, as you can see in the video right here, using the microwave, you stayed in this original circular arena. You didn't escape it. You kept a lot of armor, right? How much armor did you keep?
I don't believe I ever dropped below 104 armor. I know I never...
I got a video. It's I think 60 something is what we saw in the video, but it doesn't look like you're going really any much lower than that. You're staying way high. You don't even grab the soul sphere.
Let me show you the one.
There's another one. Uh-oh.
There's one on Reddit that I posted where I never dropped below 100.
That's what I'll have to show too. We'll put some footage of that here up on the screen too in the editing. This is another one, I guess. Holy crap. You got it. That's crazy. All right, so we are going to take a look a little bit at this. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, show the one to where he actually doesn't go under 100 armor. So this is something you've done a few times, actually, it looks like, at least a couple.
Yes.
And you have different attempts. That's impressive. See, normally if you go to your YouTube channel, you see the one, and it's like, oh, you didn't lose much armor, and you did it better and better. Super impressive. I've done this before, but not this well.
Thank you.
I really like it. Another challenge I want to look at, too, the Destroyer Blade only for Heavies and Super Heavies on Final Sin on Nightmare. So tell me about this. So you use the chainsaw on the fodder, but the only weapon you could use on the Heavies and Super Heavies is the Destroyer Blade. The only weapon.
Yes, I used the Super Shotgun for armor, not for ammo.
Yeah.
On the fodder, but for the Heavies and Super Heavies, I only use the Destroyer Blade. I did this because I saw a lot of people who think that this was back before Zero Master even posted his speedruns with Destroyer Blade. So I wanted to show off how good it was because it was my favorite mod at the time.
I gotta use it more.
What you do is you launch yourself in the air with the meat hook, or you use bounce pads, and you can abuse enemy spawns. That way, if you're in the air, you still can dodge because you're constantly moving. So it sort of bypasses the weakness of the Destroyer Blade.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of jump pad and bunny hop usage. I see you actually doing it in the video a lot. That's the tip. That's the key to the Destroyer Blade. I know people are going to meme it up and say, microwave run win, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's a really cool challenge there. You also have... Let's look at this one for another minute, but just because I'm interested in it, in that you're only literally using the Destroyer Blade. There's a Baron that's probably going to come up the stairs. No, it's a Gargoyle that comes upstairs. That's it. So what challenges did you run into with this one?
You mean at that particular instance with the Baron, or
just in general with only having the Destroyer Blade for Heavies?
Honestly, it was relatively easy.
Relatively easy.
I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun. I've also done this challenge with the Arbalist, but I never recorded that one.
Oh, that would be interesting with the flying enemies, but on the ground too. I know it seems like you're a fan of it. It's definitely a decent mod. More than decent, actually. I like it a lot. There's actually a mod that turns 2016's Siege into it, which is really cool. Elizabeth and you made it. So, let's take a look. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about the Destroyer Blade one? We got another one coming up.
What you can do with the Destroyer Blade is a really cool tactic. So, what most people don't know about Doom Eternal, they think you can't stop moving or stay in one spot. This is untrue. A tactic I like to do is to stay in one spot for a few seconds so so that way all of the enemies will group around you, and then you can immediately use your mobility to go to the other side of the map. That map will be completely clear of enemies, and then you can just destroy your blade from there.
So I'm showing some footage of where I think you did this in action. You go up and around the tyrant, and you just kind of just fly, and they're all around him, and you, perfect. And you pulled them together, very nice. I can see how this would work, especially in horde mode. Ice bombs as well. I can really see how this would work. Really cool.
If you ever seen Frosty's video, he had a montage of using the Destroyer Blade in horde mode. It was actually pretty fun to watch.
He's got Destroyer Blade ASMR too. That's another video. That's a funny one. I got some more challenges I want to show off too. You did it. They said it couldn't be done. Final Sin arenas with the SSG only. Please talk about that one. You got to.
So, a lot of people were talking about how you couldn't just use the Super Shotgun like you could in 2016.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, in this game, there's far more incentive to weapon switch. No one's going to argue that.
Right, this is true.
But I just wanted to prove that it was possible again. You know, the funny thing was, it was actually easier to do the Arbalist and Destroyer Blade challenge than it was to do the Super Shotgun one.
Really?
It really was.
Really? The Still Blade Sword of Vengeance or something easier than that?
Yeah, because you can kite enemies around, whereas with Super Shotgun only, you kind of have to be in a barren space constantly.
Gotta be like that close. I saw too, you know, with the Marauder, it took a few extra cycles, and I noticed too, when talking about getting in enemies' faces, what you've done before in a video is there was a Cyber Mancubus in horde mode, and you just walked up to him and you just punched him. You didn't falter him or anything. How did you know to do that? Did you look at his animation to see what he would do?
Yeah, it's experience. A lot of the times you can tell when an enemy's going to fire, how they're going to fire. I have probably fought over 10,000 Cyber Mancubus, so I just am really experienced in that.
So that's interesting to me because, you know, I like to talk about trigger enemies and animations and Blood Punch. I got a lot of videos on them, analyzing them. And the main thing that people go for on a Cyber Mancubus is Ice Bomb Blood Punch, right?
Yes.
Next level, I'm curious to see what you think about. Next level would be Ice Bomb Blood Punch, maybe Ballista Boost for damage and getting away, kind of like a double whammy. Then you have the frags and falters. You did none of that. You just walked up and just punched them.
I looked at his cannons and I saw that he wasn't quite going to shoot, and I could move in the middle of him, so his shot would miss to the side of me.
Ooh.
That's how I knew I could do that right there.
So what tip, before we go to the next video, there'll be a good close off for this, what tip would you offer someone if they need to get close to an enemy for a blood punch, like a Cyber Mancubus or a Doom Hunter especially, or the boss fights? What is one thing that whoever's watching this video can do that take away and help them there?
Okay, so for the Doom Hunter, I'm going to plug in my favorite mod, the Destroyer Blade.
Yep.
So, it doesn't say that it's his weakness, but you have no idea how good the Destroyer Blade is.
I've never heard this before, so this is actually really interesting to me. Destroyer Blade and Doom Hunter? Really?
Yes. A fully charged Destroyer Blade will instantly falter a Doom Hunter.
Okay.
Not staggered, falter. So that means you have a prime opportunity to go for a Blood Punch immediately after that.
Okay,
and
okay.
A Blood Punch with a fully charged Destroyer Blade will destroy his sled immediately. So it's technically not a weakness, but it is might as well be.
So, okay, so I know that different things like a single charge Heat Blast will falter him, but you said a fully charged Destroyer. See, something I find interesting and is that these mods that we say, I've seen this in other games like Clash of Clans when I play with the Bowler Troop, people think they suck when they start, but they just haven't found the answer for them yet, is what it is.
I think the Destroyer Blade has a really high skill floor, so you need to be really good with the environment, the map. You got to know enemies' attacks. You got to know how to run around the map, and it really requires the meat hook. You have to have mastery with the meat hook to properly use Destroyer Blade or enemy spawns.
Man,
and I think that's where a lot of it comes from.
Sounds like that there's more to it than people originally looked at. That's what I find really interesting, is that I think we're missing so much just because we don't look at it. I'm going to show people your channel here. So you've been uploading for how long? 4 months now or so, looks like?
Yeah, about that long.
So what oh, sorry, go ahead.
I believe my first video was either Arc Complex or the very last Slayer Gate without getting hit. It was one of the two.
Ooh, super nice.
I didn't
That's
do
it.
the Arc Complex getting hit. I did that without taking health damage. It was one of those two.
Wow. Slayer Gate Nightmare without getting hit. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I'll tell you what, something else too that comes to mind. You've got these different challenges, and we talked about on Discord earlier with someone else. I won't say what it is because nobody's ever done it before. You know what I'm talking about? Would you like to hint out any to that? Will that be up on your channel soon?
Yes, it definitely will. I look forward. It will probably be up on Monday.
Okay. Okay, very nice. So really close to the time of this one. Awesome. I won't spoil the channel. Like I said, nobody's ever done this challenge before.
It's a very Ultra Nightmare run.
It is Ultra Nightmare with restrictions. If you can guess what it is in the comments below, try to do it, and we'll see if you're right come Monday. Yeah, that'll be neat to see. So what else do you have for the future of your channel? What can people expect to see if they subscribe to your channel?
What they can expect to see is challenges that I think no one else has ever done, and I would try to strive to do the absolute hardest. And whatever's interesting, whatever they like to see, they can leave suggestions, comments, really any type of content for challenge runs, I would definitely be willing to do. And I'd like to experiment with the game and try to find out unique uses for underused weapons, like the microwave beam, like the destroyer blade. And a lot of things that people don't know is the Arbalist is incredibly good, not just for pain elementals, but also for weapon comboing.
For what was that good for? One more time?
For weapon comboing.
Combos,
like,
nice.
It's incredibly good for weapon comboing. If you try Arbalist, Precision Bolt, Rocket Launcher, and then Super Shotgun, any heavy in the game is pretty much dead.
Ooh, very nice. Arbalist it's got some nice uses. If you if you go to the console and you type to get rid of the visuals with it, you actually get a stronger ballista boost. Blubber found that out. So it sounds like this. You're right. It's got more uses than we give it credit for. Curious to see what the DLC has. See, I think that if people like my channel, they'll like yours as well. We're both about challenge runs and trying crazy things out, and I think they'll like it. So, do you have anything you'd like to say before we wrap this one up today?
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys can check it out. If you like my runs, feel free to subscribe and leave a like. If not, still have a nice day, and I hope you enjoyed our TED Talk.
Yes.
Allstin, thank you for having me here. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to seeing more of your videos in the future.
Thank you.
Oh,
yes.
And a little bit of a spoiler. Do you remember your video on trigger enemies where you were talking about the pain elementals?
Yes.
In Deckerable?
Yes.
Yeah, that may have helped me out quite a bit get past a certain part.
All right. I won't say what, though. I won't say for what video. We'll leave it a surprise to everybody.
All right.
I'm Allstin. This has been Lightningbreak. Check out his channel. Subscribe to mine, too, if you like the videos that I bring, and to his, too. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.